Hi, I'm Dale Stanke. I'm the Director of Independent Agency Marketing and Sales Development Programs here at Liberty Mutual for Safeco Insurance and Liberty Mutual Business Insurance. Our team's purpose is to help your entire business grow no matter what it is that you sell. We're here today to share ideas with you on business continuity, having a plan to keep your business running during a disaster that could close your physical office. It can happen to anyone, whether it's things we commonly think about like hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, or it could be the closure of your office due to a fire, a burst pipe, a snow day, some other reason you never could have imagined would happen. So we're going to focus on ways to meet your customers' needs and better prepare to keep your agency up and running during difficult times. I'm coming to you straight from my basement in Seattle's Finney Ridge neighborhood. And before I go any further, let's meet the rest of the team and see where they're working from today. Nick Andrews, let's start with you.
Hey Dale, how you doing? Thanks so much for having me on. I'm working out of my bedroom today. I live in an apartment building. All of the co-working spaces have been shut down. So I'm in my bedroom today. I live in the greater Washington, D.C. area. I've been with Liberty for over 7 years. Excited to be here. Thank you.
Great.
Hey everybody, I'm Manny, Senior Training Consultant here at Liberty Mutual Safeco, working from my dining room in the West Seattle neighborhood of good old Seattle.
Hi everybody, Shannon Chapman here, coming to you live and in person from my I Really Miss Sports in Redmond, Washington cabin. And I'm super excited to be here, marketing coach with the team, and let's do this.
Hello, everyone. I'm Stacy Cooper. I am coming to you live from my basement in beautiful Silverdale, Washington. Also look forward to being here with you today.
Great company. Hi, I'm Carissa Powell. I'm a marketing coach on the team, and I'm coming from you in my sunny apartment at the top of the hill in Seattle. So thanks for having me.
Hello, I'm Dave Pierce. Glad to be here today. Appreciate it. I am the Director of Business Development and Marketing, responsible for our marketing, our Gold Service Center. Coming to you from Midtown Atlanta, Georgia.
Howdy, folks. I'm Kathy Straub. I'm also a marketing coach here with Safeco Liberty Mutual Insurance. And I, too, live in West Seattle, just like Manny, coming to you from my spare bedroom.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for being here, everyone. I'm really looking forward to what you're going to be sharing today. I just want to tell everybody else watching this that we're going to be sharing the names of various vendors and solution providers, and just want to say that that does not necessarily indicate an endorsement. It's just that other agencies like yours are using these types of solutions to keep their businesses running and to meet customer expectations. All right, let's get started first with some customer-facing considerations. Nick, let's talk about agency websites. What should agencies be ready to do there?
So Dale, your agency's website plays a starring role in the event that you can't be in the office. When your employees, your customers, or prospects can't come into your physical office, they need to see you in your virtual office, which is your agency's website. So on your agency's website, you need to be posting information about what's going on, how they can get in touch with you. So that's either going to be a notification right front and center on the website, or a blog post, or maybe a combination of both. But your website really does play a starring role in the event that customers can't walk into your agency's physical location.
And so, Nick, what does that also tell prospective customers if they come to your agency website and see that kind of messaging out there?
So if a prospect hits your website during one of these events and they see that you're on top of it, that's a vote of confidence. They know that if they give you their business, they can trust you to handle them and one of these types of events, and you're going to be there for them. You're thinking about the customer. You have a customer first mindset, which is very important to have.
Excellent, excellent. So Shannon, what role can social media play?
Well, social media plays a very important role, just like your website, because we all know that, we're in touch with these things all the time, right? And a lot of times, if we don't have phones or if other things are out, generally our cell phones will still work, so we can still be checking in with social media. You can check in, mark yourself okay. You can also update your business page, let your customers know how to get in touch with you. And you can also let your community know how they can help each other, which is really important because in times of need, everybody needs a little bit of help, and social media is a great way to do that.
I love to see when agencies support their community, and I think it's a fantastic point, Shannon. Hey Nick, let's go back to the website. What about using live chat?
So Dale, live chat's a great technology that you can implement on your website, and it allows your customers and prospects to speak with an agency staff member. It's a great way to build trust because it's a human touch point when they hit your website. There's a lot of great free solutions out there. Facebook Messenger comes to mind. You can actually install Facebook Messenger directly on your website, and it can be a de facto website chat. All of your chats will get saved and stored. So from a E&O perspective, you have a record and a log of everything that you've discussed and chatted with to a customer or prospect. And it's just such a free, fantastic tool, and it really gives your customers and prospects another vote of confidence because you're doing business the way they want to do business. We live in a world where not everyone wants to pick up the phone, so offering these multiple communication channels is really important.
Excellent, that's great. Another thing, let's talk about some other communication methods. Manny, let's talk about texting.
Ooh, yes, texting. Yeah, actually, a lot of the principles, a lot of what Nick said about live chat kind of applies to texting. So texting, obviously, huge, very popular and easy way to communicate for so many people. In fact, when we look at kind of the data out there, I've seen a lot of different studies now. I think a lot of us had a lot of research out there that have kind of shown that the majority of the population definitely want this as an option. In fact, I think it's something like 70 plus in a lot of the different studies and data points I've seen who want to be able to communicate via text. But additionally, in just outside of just people wanting to use that as a form of communication with the business, you also have to look at the reception of it and the readability rate of it. And the readability of it, at least again, from what data out there says, is really high. Everything I've seen has said it's 80% or higher. That's pretty amazing when you consider that email, it's about 20 to 30%. So if you're looking for immediate answers or looking for immediate contact, text can be a really excellent way to do that. Now, obviously, the challenge we run into is not everybody, if we're doing things singularly on our phones, then that is just on the phone of that particular staff member. That can be a problem for the agency, right? So there are services out there that can take that problem away from the singular phone use and put that in front of the entire staff. And so what I'm thinking about when I say that are tools like messenger tools that are built into or that are offered through your agency management system provider. Think Easy Links, think Vertafore, Applied, Hawksoft, they all have them. And they may be an additional cost. They may be part of your package. Maybe you just don't know about it. I don't know. But the point is those services can make it easy because now your entire staff has access to it. And they can, if one's out, another person can take that over from them, and that stores everything in one place. So you're really protecting yourself in the future if you ever need those records for E&O reasons or anything like that. And lastly, if you don't find that you can use one of these agency management system provider options because maybe you're using an older system or it's just not one that supports anything like that, remember there are external third-party vendors that do this that can hook in a lot of cases with your systems. And even if they can't, it's still a tool that's going to be there and available to store all that information and share it amongst your staff. Companies out there like ZipWhip, I think there's another one called Haymarket that's popular as well. They do that very similar thing. So yeah, texting, way to go. Super easy to communicate with your clients that way.
Excellent, great points, Manny. Stacy, I hear video is kind of a big deal. In fact, here we are on video right now. So talk about video calls and proposals, please.
Absolutely, yeah. So, well, texting's great and live chat is great. It helps you to answer questions quickly. Some of the business that you transact might require a little bit more of a complex conversation, something you would normally do face-to-face, and that's where video can come into play and be a great tool for those types of transactions. So like Dale mentioned, look at us today here, all across the nation, it's like we're all in the same room right now, talking through a video call platform. So using, most laptops have a built-in camera, or else you can get a USB camera that plugs into your computer. You can use platforms such as Zoom, like we're using here today. There's also join.me. They actually have a free version, so you can test it out without even having to purchase anything. There's other platforms like WebEx and GoToMeeting. So there's several providers out there. Also, for those that are on mobile, if you're using an iPhone, of course you have FaceTime. There are platforms that are free like WhatsApp. Google has a platform as well. So these calls, these meetings can be conducted via your mobile device as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, Nick is running Zoom right now off of his phone, while the rest of us are on desktop.
I am, and Dale, I don't even believe this, but it's so much better than the desktop experience. It's just fantastic.
Yes, options. There's flexibility there. So these tools are great. Now, when it comes to video, you can also use it to conduct video proposals. So, forget about the days of having to email that proposal over and then follow up with a phone call, play phone tag. Our team jokes about we don't even answer our phone if we don't know who's calling, right? So think about using video proposals to to explain the proposal that you're sending over. And then that way, when the prospect gets that email, they can consume your details at any time that's convenient for them. That's a big deal. That is a major time saver for you. Your clients are going to enjoy the fact that they're able to, again, understand your proposal, what you're explaining to them. Another benefit of that is sometimes there's multiple decision makers in a home, right? It's both the husband and the wife. And then if you're doing a video proposal, then both parties can consume it when it's convenient for them. So video proposals are fantastic. Several agency partners that we have spoken to have told us that they absolutely love it. It's revolutionized their agency. Their clients appreciate it. So there's some great tools out there to do video proposals. So a few of them are Loom, so loom.com. There's screencastomatic.com. And again, Zoom, this platform we're using today, you could easily record yourself describing your proposal and send a link right to the video recording.
Excellent points. Yeah, I remember talking to an agent not too long ago who said that he closes 100% of every proposal that he makes. It's pretty good odds.
That's a good close rate, yeah.
And really the value too is I don't have to be sitting in front of a desktop. I could look at it on my phone. In fact, he was showing it to me on his phone, the proposal, so I didn't have to be tethered to a desktop. And when I think about being in a disaster type situation, I may not be in my home. My home may not exist anymore, but I probably carried my phone out when I went outside or got out of the house. So you still have that way to communicate with people. Very effective. Okay, let's change it up a little bit. So Carissa, I've sent that video proposal on from my agency. What is something that I would want to do to layer onto that to make that more effective?
Sure. Well, talk about meeting people where they are. I think that these e-signature solutions that are available are something that every agency needs, frankly. What it enables you to do is to send that information for them to sign it digitally on their computer or their phone and return it to you. Not only do we see higher response rates, but we also see better retention and frankly, just a better customer experience than having to send something in the mail. I mean, who has a stamp? So this is something that you can actually, there are all sorts of carrier options to do this with. Some carriers have native solutions. That's worth looking into because then their documents are baked in. But other carriers, they have discounts with some of the top e-signature solution companies out there. So take a look around and see if you can play with this. In fact, I think, Dale, you were mentioning the other day that you talked to somebody who they send their employee handbook through an e-signature solution. Is that right? So they have a record that the employee has seen it. So clever.
Yeah, there's lots of other ways you can use e-sign, right? I've seen people use it to get a credit card number from a customer via e-sign because it's secure versus them sending it via email or text, where not the most good thing in the world to do when it comes to protecting your information. Boy, it's certainly better though too than emailing a PDF and asking them to print it out and fax it back, right?
Who has a printer?
Or or a fax machine.
There you go. That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so and again, let's take it from a slightly different direction. So, Dave, how can carriers help with managing customers?
Service centers are a wonderful tool to help our agents service their clients. We've got through Safeco, we've got our Gold Service Center. It's really a partnership with our independent agents where we give them the capabilities to sustain a customer experience provided around the clock to do the everyday transactions. So for personal lines, we've got the Safeco Gold Service Center. For commercial lines, we've got the Small Business Service Center as well. So we've got you covered for Liberty and for Safeco. And really the benefits are gold. It's about providing the needs for the ever-changing consumer needs that are developing day by day. The expectations are such greater nowadays. We're able to provide a 24/7, 365. So whether it's in normal times, we're there around the clock, but certainly in a disaster when you're not even open, we're there to support you and do the work on your behalf. And that's the key, that we do it on your behalf. We co-brand, and then the insureds are aware that we're doing it on your behalf, and you get credit for that. Frees up time for you so you can do those proactive touches, whether it's outreach in the community or sales and marketing during normal time. So a lot of advantages, and really what it comes down to is we're really pleased because it's our preferred model, because we get historically 2 points higher retention in our gold book versus our non-gold. So it really shows that the efficient day-to-day service through gold, and then your increased relationship from a local standpoint really works well together. So great in everyday times, but even more valuable when you need it for any disaster recovery as well.
Oh yeah, those are excellent points. Thanks, Dave. So, Kathy, what are some other ways that agencies can help meet those customer service needs?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know about the rest of you, but when I'm not working in my spare bedroom, I take the bus to and from downtown Seattle to get into the office, and I do a lot of my transactions on my smartphone, and I schedule a lot of my appointments using either portals or using some sort of a digital space to do so. My hair appointments, my doctor's appointments. Consumers today, they want that ease of being able to do business anywhere at any time, right? So definitely consider adding, at Safeco we call it Manage My Account, but each of the carriers have their own sort of digital platform that you can add. You can link right to your website, whether it's a widget, a link, whatever it might be, that allows your consumers, your customers, to directly manage different things on their account. They can pay a bill, they can get an ID card, they can make some very small minor changes perhaps to their auto policy, but it allows them to service themselves outside of business hours, right? 8 to 5 is when you're in the office. Well, I'm on the bus at 5:30 p.m. I want to be able to do things when you're not in the office, because that's the time I have. And so, definitely allowing and having those tools available to your consumers, to your clients, is a win-win situation for everybody.
Yeah, those are excellent points. And actually, that made me think too, Dave, about how often calls come in outside of normal business hours. What was the stat on that?
Yeah, that's a great point. We actually receive over 25% of our calls non-core business hours. So it really shows there is a need. If you think about all the shopping you can do online and so forth, you had that expectation, and we're really pleased to be able to offer that 24/7. If you think about it, if you don't have a 24/7 service offering, you're telling your insureds once every fourth call me back when it's convenient for me, and we certainly don't want to deliver that message. So great tool.
And I can tell you, Kathy gets into work pretty early, so she's conducting business before your normal business hours. Yeah, okay. Hey, so let's bring it back to another communications channel. Shannon, earlier you talked about social media. What about newsletters?
Newsletters, whether you send them electronically or via hard copy, are an excellent way to communicate with your clients because you're hitting them in ways via email or in their mailbox, and giving them information that's crucial for things to do, whether it's your core hours, whether it's the 800 number for the service center, what to do in the event of a claim, how to get in touch with you, if there's a disaster or something like that. You can communicate that via a newsletter. So using services like a constant contact, eye contact, MailChimp, something like that, a lot of agency management systems actually have email tools built into them as well. I think EasyLinks does, or if you partner with a companies like an Agency Revolution or somebody like that, they can help you as well to send newsletters out. And again, most of us have our email tied to our smartphones. Generally, we will have those with us. But you can also hit people, what is it, the creed, whether wind, sleet, snow, or hail, the mail it must go through. If you can get ahead of a disaster and mail out a quick postcard with our new postcard builder tool or something like that, then you can actually get ahead of, disasters and help your clients, before things happen as well. It's a really, really great way to stay in touch. And again, touch on those community things that make us all, bond together.
And keep those relationships with your customers stronger and keep your community stronger.
Very
I
much.
know, yeah, and I know too from you mentioned Agency Revolution. I heard from some Agency Revolution customers that are in areas that have frequent disaster type situations. They've already built campaigns before those things happen, so they have the content ready to go versus trying to scramble when they may not have their office or the things in
And
hand
that
that are easy to.
Exactly, and that's one really nice thing is you can actually pre-build most of these communications and then just click send when it's time. So you can have it ready to go so you're not scrambling either. So you can think about all the things you need to do when it's, in a calm period, and then just click send so then your clients are ready to rock and roll.
Great. Hey, these are a lot of excellent, customer-facing needs that your agency should be thinking about. Thanks for sharing those. And remember too that we're always here to help you. So please reach out to us if you need help or just want to talk about ideas. Okay. Now we're going to talk about things that your agency needs to stay up and running when your office may be closed due to unforeseen circumstances. Um, It's not exhaustive, but we're going to hit on some things that will help you get started down the path of having a more successful business continuity plan. Kathy and Carissa, let's start with creating guidelines for business protocols.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think the first and foremost, though, is offering that flexibility to work from home for both for you as the employer and your employees. I know here in Seattle, when it snows, the whole dang city shuts down, right? So having that availability to work from home and not have to worry about taking the bus or trying to get downtown Seattle, offering that flexibility that allows folks to use a laptop instead of a desktop, but to be able to take that home in the event of some sort of adverse weather or disaster, whatever it might be. Because, business disruption, you never know when it's going to happen. So having that preparedness in place, and make sure you've got, the technology, like I said, instead of purchasing desktops, maybe start thinking about purchasing everybody laptops, maybe have some additional monitors that folks can use when they're at home. I know Nick, he's got his cell phone going and he's got his monitor, he's looking up here. So he's using both. I've got two monitors in front of me. It just makes it a lot easier and we're more productive. It's like a setup just at home, just like we are at the office. So I think it's a great opportunity to start building in that flexibility. Chris, I know you've got some stuff to add there.
Yeah. Along the same notes, I think it's important to start developing a schedule for folks to be able to check in regularly with them. sometimes, especially if you're used to working in the same office or the same room, it's difficult to think ahead and think how you would check in, how you would know what folks were up to if you're all working from home. So some things you can consider are potentially hosting maybe a 15-minute virtual meeting every day, or checking in with everyone individually for just 10 minutes a day. Whatever you decide to do, be sure to develop a system for measuring productivity, whether it's tracking the tasks performed, client interactions, or the results achieved. It's just important to have a system or a process in place so you're ready.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
the idea of the quick 15-minute stand-up meetings. We have them here as our team. We just get on the phone. We get on video real quick and check in, make sure everybody's doing okay, and kind of give a rundown. We ask who needs help. Who's got time on their plate, what's going on. And so I think it's a great habit to get into.
And a good way to
Excellent.
connect with folks too while
Yeah.
you're all
Yeah.
apart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, certainly the visual element is really important. It's so much easier to tell what people are thinking and whether everybody agrees or not, for that matter. Manny, Stacy, tell me about VoIP. What is it? Why does it matter?
Well, VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol, to spell out that handy little acronym. Basically, what it is just the delivery of your phone service through the internet versus through a landline. So landlines obviously have their advantages that if ever internet is out, you can still use that, right? It's not dependent on it. But VoIP, or Voice over Internet Protocol device, is very common. We use it every day. But otherwise, as far as the experience that you would have using it, you would notice no experience. You dial a phone number, you talk to people. Hey, you're already doing it today when you use tools like Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. You're doing that over an internet signal versus through your carrier. But that's really all there is to it. Especially with most, just all of you have some sort of a desktop or laptop, or potentially a mobile device as well for work. And so you've already got access to it as long as you're using the app that is right for your business, whether that's Skype or something similar to that. So yeah, voice over internet protocol, pretty easy to set up. You can even purchase these voice over internet protocol devices, these phones that are specific to that just only, but you don't need it. If you've got your laptop, you've got your desktop, you can just use the power of the internet you're already using to make those phone calls, whether you're at home or in the office. Stacey, any additions to that?
I think you hit on all the points when it comes to VoIP. So
Yeah, that ability just to have that phone number travel with you wherever you are is really, really key. I mean, we're all on VoIP right now. So yeah, Kathy.
Yeah, so I remember, in my previous life, my past experiences, VoIP is awesome because instead of having to go into the office to switch phones, and change the voicemail message or whatever, however it used to be, right? Because it used to be like that. Anytime it snowed in Seattle, I can make all the changes from home, let folks know that, hey, we're working from home, office is closed. You could forward phones to individuals. It was so much easier managing it, with a VoIP system than it was the old school systems where you actually had to go into the office to make the changes.
Yeah, there really is no difference between the two in terms of the experience,
Quality is
really.
nope.
Yep, quality's the same. It's
Yeah,
just more
quality is
of,
the same.
yeah,
Yep.
it's
Ease
really
of
that it actually
management.
just gives you more opportunities, easy management.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
All right, let's do another V acronym. How about VPN, Nick?
So Dale, VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and emphasis on the word private. So think about if your agency staff is located remotely, they need to access those critical systems of your agency. So I'm talking about things like your agency's management system, your CRM tool. So these are important critical tools to help you sell and service and speak with your customers. So it's important that your employees access those systems securely. So if someone at your agency is working from a coffee shop or the airport, or they're on some sort of unsecured network, you can still access your agency system securely through a VPN. So it's a very inexpensive technology that you can implement that will ensure safety and privacy when your staff members are accessing your agency systems remotely.
So what's the risk to the agency if they're not using VPN?
So if I was working for an agency out of a coffee shop and I was just on the unsecured network, anyone could snoop and see what I'm doing online, and that poses a really huge risk for an agency. I mean, critical customer data could get
Mm.
stolen or intercepted, or it could be a whole huge list of cyber liability, and it's just a really scary thing, and it's such an easy fix to get a virtual private network.
Yeah, that you've sold me. We actually use VPN to get into our stuff, so that's just part of the process every day. So Shannon, there's some other things I just can't quite put my finger on that you might need.
Well, Dale, it's important to think about all the right equipment. Just maybe headsets might be one of them. But Kathy touched on having, laptops that people can take with them so that they've got you know, their world with them. We all work from laptops, which is fantastic. So when it does snow or there's anything like that, or we travel a lot. This team travels a lot. So we always have our office with us. We VPN, we do those other things. But if you are working in a remote office, invest in some additional monitors. I mean, I'm lucky. I've got my laptop here. I've got my other monitor over here. It's fantastic if you need docking stations, things like that. One other thing to really consider is think about a dedicated place to work. I'm lucky. I've got a little space dedicated here in the house. It's a little kind of old deck that was enclosed. It's an alcove kind of thing, and so I have my little office. Some people, if you are the only person at your house, working at your dining room table may work fantastically, but just make sure you have a dedicated place. Make sure you're ergonomically correct, because nobody wants shoulder pain or anything like that. Again, headsets, yeah, exactly. We're all kind of, I talked about it, so everybody has to move now.
I'm not sitting ergonomically correctly right now. It's like, oops.
But I mean, think about it. Still headsets. You can see most all of us are on headsets. There's those pucks that you can plug in, which I think Stacy is using. So, oh, she's going to show us there. So you can talk, hands free. I'm a hand talker. I love to talk with my hands, and nobody wants to be like this all day on their phones. It's just like, oh, that hurts my neck just thinking about it.
Talk about ergonomics.
Yeah, exactly. So again, most laptops have a video camera built into them. So as you can see all of us, or if you need to get an extra one, you can buy them a USB camera to hook up to your monitor, to hook up to your laptop, anything like that. So having the right equipment available for you, for your team, is key in being able to work efficiently and effectively remotely.
And I would even mention lighting too, because I
Oh,
think
yes.
all you guys are really lit pretty well, and I'm kind of struggling with it in my basement here. But actually, who's working in the basement today?
I'm in a basement, but it's a daylight basement, so I have this
So you have
wonderful
windows.
window, and it's
Okay.
kind of
You can
blue
see
sky
my
out there.
window. So, oh.
And we've got Nick's working from his bedroom. Let's see, where else is everybody else working from? Dave, your dining room for Manny. And yeah, okay. So actually, one other thing, internet connectivity. I can tell you from experience, we're all sitting here on video right now. It's pretty bandwidth intensive. That's something too that you really want to have your employees test that out before they have to rely on it and are not ready to actually be able to do business. Okay. Speaking of your employees, collaboration's key when people are distributed. So Carissa and Stacy, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that there are a lot of tools out there that are optional now for collaborating online. I think one of the ones that our team has used, we used Slack, we've used Teams. There are all sorts of other options out there. And what's nice is you can not only follow up with each other about the tasks that you're collaborating on, but you can also share some more personal things or post a silly smiley face, and there is a level of bonding while everyone's out of the office that takes place on those platforms. What do you think, Stacy? What would you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, just since we've instituted those tools within our team, so we started with Slack, which I did hear on a webinar earlier this week that there's actually a free version of Slack, so you can try it out without even spending a dime. And then Microsoft Teams, of course, which we use now. And what I really value with those tools is, yeah, it's collaborating. It allows us to, instant message each other, share those funnies like you mentioned. House documents. I really like the fact that these tools have uncluttered our email. So instead of shooting off emails when we want to share information, share tactics, marketing tactics, that's what we do. Instead, we can kind of have channels within these platforms in order to house that information there. And then it's always there to go back to and reference. And again, it's really done a nice job of uncluttering our emails because we all get too many emails as it is. So that's fantastic thing about those tools.
Oh, I hate getting a big attachment when I'm on a flight and the internet's just slowly chugging away, trying to download that big attachment that Nick sent me. Sorry, Nick. Okay, so
Picking on Nick.
I know it's easy. So Kathy, you're an agency principal and you're thinking about how am I going to get all this stuff done?
Yeah.
What do I need to do?